Today's show is brought to you by adamandeve.com. Go to adamandeve.com right now and you'll get 50% off just about any item. All you have to do is enter the code word GLORY, Glory, at checkout.
Be advised that this show is not for children, the faint of heart, or the easily offended. The explicit tag is there for a reason.
Recording live from Glory Hole Studios in Chicago and elsewhere. This
and beyond.
And beyond.
And beyond. That's
Damn
the new way. That's how it works. Let's do it again.
All right.
From the top, Tom.
From the top.
From the top.
Oh,
here we go.
Get in the game, Curry. Get in the game. All right. Recording live from Glory Hole Studios in Chicago and beyond. This.
Boom.
You like that? Pause good. Everything. Nice inflection. All right. Good.
Perfect.
This is Cognitive Dissonance. Every episode we blast anyone who gets in our way. We bring critical thinking, skepticism, and irreverence to any topic that makes the news, makes it big, or makes us mad. It's skeptical, it's political, and there is no welcome mat. This is episode 562 of Cognitive Dissonance, and this is the, maybe you shouldn't have shorted GameStop episode. Maybe,
whoops.
A little oopsie daisy on that. GameStop, by the way, totally worth $300+ a share. That is a sustainable position to hold. At no point.
Yeah. When they go up to the guy, they go up to the hedge fund manager, and the hedge fund manager looks at me and says, well, I know it's $350. You bought it for $350, but the best I could do is like this old Mike Tyson CD. And trading it in, trying to trade your GameStop stock in, and the best they could do is like I don't know, if you bundle 3 or 4 of them together, I might be able to take $10 off this new console.
I'm reminded there was an old Simpsons episode that was like joking about the collapse of the tech stock when the tech bubble burst, and as it was happening, they're trying to pay Lisa and Bart and whatever, they're trying to pay them in stock. I'll just grab a roll of stock off the wall. Just pulling stock off the wall like toilet paper.
Exactly,
because that's what it's fucking worth.
Exactly,
so,
man.
Yeah,
exactly.
It was an interesting week for Game. We're not going to get too far into it, but it's an interesting week for GameStop. It looks like there was some Reddit-related activism, which burned some hedge fund managers.
Yeah, which is great.
Anytime billionaires lose billions, I sort of giggle. I'm not going to lie.
That's
There's a part of me that giggles. I giggle the fuck out of some giggle. So they're still winning, though. I do want to point out the billionaires are still winning.
The
super winning.
The billionaires are wiping their tears with yachts, right?
Yeah, right. It is funny. Not funny because it's not, but I do laugh when it's like, it cost that guy $1 million. If you cost me $1 million, I'm bankrupt and I owe you about $1 million.
I owe you $990,000.
I'm in a lot of trouble, right? So if it's like if Tom gets a $1 million bill, Tom is short most of that bill. These guys are like, oh man, I lost $100 million. Now I only have like 900 million other dollars.
These guys turn their sofas over and find more money than that. Are you kidding me?
Like
there's more in their Bugatti. You know how in your car how you have a little thing where you press down and put dimes in or whatever. They just have briefcases. There's a briefcase dispenser that just shits out $1 million bills to pay.
It's just full of Bitcoins instead of dimes. That's Oh man. Never underestimate the staggering wealth inequality, guys. We didn't hurt them.
Oh man.
I just want to point out you didn't hurt anybody. It's cute.
You didn't hurt anybody.
It's cute.
It's adorable.
It is. But this is akin to giving Mike Tyson a black eye. He's fucking used to it. Two, he still is going to kick your ass. Like that's.
Yeah.
You are stupid. 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 And don't forget, you are stupid.
So, Cecil, the big story in the political world is Marjorie Taylor Greene, who I do want to point the fuck out. We covered Marjorie Taylor Greene.
You did, yeah.
Fucking like before she was elected.
Yeah.
And we covered her because she was saying crazy shit and she was supporting crazy shit.
Back when she was just conspiracy theory Barbie.
Right.
Yeah. But now she's, what's another good name? We could maybe call her a Qpie doll. Q.
Oh.
Huh? Right?
That's good.
Q.
That's good.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. I like that. That's good.
But Marjorie Taylor is amazingly stupid.
I mean,
she's just such a dumb person.
This is somebody who is a duly elected member of Congress now. I just want to point out that if you think that this ended or that this was like a cute, okay, well, you know, Trump's gone and how much damage, if there's any part of you that does not look at the world that we have created and fucking shudder.
Yeah.
Consider the next few stories we're going to talk about, because this woman that we're talking about isn't one of those like crazy prophecy preachers that Cecil and I cover because it's cute and we laugh about it and they don't really have any effect on the world. This fucker's in your Congress.
This lady brought impeachment or tried to bring impeachment charges against Biden this week.
Yeah.
I mean, she's an insane person.
Yeah.
She's the idiot who walked up the night of, rejected the election results with a thing on her face, a mask on her face that said censored or something that.
Yep. Yeah. So
I mean, she's a fool.
Let's go through these piece by piece. So this story comes from CNN. You can find it also literally anywhere.
Yeah.
Just anywhere, as you can with most of these stories. From CNN. Marjorie Taylor Greene indicated support for executing prominent Democrats in 2018 and 2019. I said those dates specifically because there was a story that I did not grab because I didn't like it, because it didn't seem relevant, but now I'm going to talk about it. There was a story, and I think it was Hawley, maybe. I don't even remember because I didn't.
Josh Hawley, maybe.
Josh Hawley. Yeah. Who, when he was like 15, he wrote an essay in support of the Oklahoma City bombings, in support of those bombers.
Okay.
And Cecil, I didn't put that in the show notes because he was 15.
Yeah.
And, you know, when I was 15, I intentionally took stupid, ill-advised, poorly considered positions on any number of topics when I was writing dumbass essays for school because, you know, it's contrarian and it's like, whoa, dude, kind of stupid shit, right?
I wrote a story one time. We had the tests that they were giving us from the state, right? They were giving us tests from the state. When we had to do this, you had to stop doing everything for the whole day and you had to do your tests. Well, we're doing tests for the state and the guy passes them out. We had to write a nonfiction essay. And I wrote an essay about how I blew up Chernobyl. He was so mad at me. He was so furious because he had to grade him and send him in. He was like, because it wasn't a graded thing. He said it beforehand. Yeah. And I said, well, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit if it's not graded. I'm going to write whatever I want. And he said, you were supposed to write a nonfiction essay. I said, prove it's not nonfiction. I was like, prove to me it's not nonfiction. I was like, you can't prove it's not nonfiction, but I was an asshole when I was a kid.
And this was 4 grades. When I was in high school, all 4 years of high school, I was very competitive with my closest friend. And one of the things we would do is we would give each other, we'd be like, oh, you got this English essay you got to write, or this whatever essay you got to write. All right, you have to write your English essay about Catcher in the Rye, but you have to include scratch and sniff sticker and granola bars. Those 2 phrases have to appear somewhere in your essay. And we would have this contest where we give each other like fucking Chopped, like the cooking show Chopped.
Sure.
Here's a horrible ingredient. Make something good out of it. And then we would compare our essay scores because we'd basically be handicapping the other guy with something stupid he'd have to put in his essay. And compare. Why? Because we're fucking whatever age and you're just an asshole. You're just So I didn't include it, right?
I get it. I also feel the same way when you talk about a 15-year-old.
Right.
I don't feel like you're fully cooked yet.
No.
I feel like sometimes they do.
15?
People that age do shit that they, I know I did some stupid shit at that age, and I know other people do stupid shit at that age. I get it. Now, don't get me wrong. The guy grew up to be an asshole. Like,
Right.
I mean,
He didn't
don't
grow
get
out
me
of
wrong.
it.
Yeah, he never grew out of it.
But I just don't feel like it's appropriate to indict somebody on the actions from their early to mid-teens, for God's sake. It's just a bad, so I wouldn't do it. And the reason I bring that up is to say the shit from Marjorie Taylor Greene, where she's supporting executing Democrats, that's from 2018 and 2019, guys. That's a
year or
2
years ago. Yeah. That's a year or 2 years
This is not like, oh, well, but I've had so much time. This was basically like an hour ago.
Sure.
In a grown-up's life?
Yeah.
2019?
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
So in one post from January 2019, Greene liked a comment that said, quote, "A bullet to the head would be quicker to remove House Speaker Nancy Pelosi." In other posts, Greene liked comments about executing FBI agents who in her eyes were part of the deep state working against Trump. Greene wrote in 2018 about the Iran deal, saying, "Now do we get to hang them?" Meaning H&O, referring to Hillary and Obama. Talking
Jesus
about fucking
Christ.
hanging people. Later, she said, "The stage is set. Players are being put into place. We must be patient. This must be done perfectly, or liberal judges will let them off." This is a violently minded conspiracy thinker. Violently minded.
Yeah.
This is somebody who supports the murder of not just politicians, but of our security forces, the FBI. Like what the fuck? We cannot, this person got fucking elected. This is the 14th district congressional representative in Georgia. They're there right now. They're not getting fired. They're not getting kicked the fuck out. They might get removed from some committee assignments.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. This person supports murder of political opponents because she believes, presumably in her heart of hearts, that that would be a morally justifiable thing to do. Yeah, we should kill the FBI agents. We just fucking kill those guys.
Her defense is that other people were in control of her social media. And I will say this, there are other people in control of our social media sometimes. You know, I mean, most of the time, in fact, other people are in control of our social media. So for this show. But I'm not in fucking Congress, right? I'm not running for Congress. So yeah, there may be a tweet out there of, some kind of pornographic or whatever kind of something that was posted or even liked by us, right? Where somebody said something horrible or did something. There's a great possibility. But here's the chances of me getting in Congress. 0 fucking chances. I don't have a chance to get in Congress. I'm not going to Congress. I'm never going to be a representative. I'm not going to be a state representative. I'm not going to be a dog catcher. I'm not going to be a meter maid, man. Never, ever, ever because of this show. So don't get the fuck out of here with that shit. If that's the case and you're saying that, that's your problem. It's on you. Because guess what? Every other person in the world would get fired for that. Every single person. If I go to work and somebody looks on my, and I have a show page for this, and I go to work and somebody finds it and sees that I like something that they don't agree with and the values at my work, I get fired for that. Everybody gets fired for that, except for people who get voted in office.
Yeah. Also, I think that's total bullshit, right? Here's another couple of key differences, Cecil. One, if you and I found out somebody liked or made if we found out about that, we'd fire that fucking person. And then later, if we were called out on the carpet, we could say, yeah, that was fucking Joe what the fuck, and it happened in May, and I fired that fucking guy, and here's evidence that I fired that fucking guy. Yeah. Right? Because
Ian, listening?
Because if somebody does something awful and they're supposed to represent you and it's fucking awful, you fire them. Yeah. Also, this is a show page, right? It's not Tom's page. It's not Cecil's page. This wasn't a page for people who support Marjorie Taylor Greene. This wasn't a Facebook page called Candidate Hoping. This was a personally represented page. Right? It was not a page that appeared to be anything other than personally represented. So I don't fucking buy it. I don't fucking buy it for a second.
I don't buy it either.
And even if it were true, her responsibility then would be to say, yeah, you know what? other people were managing my page. I found out about that and I fucking fired him. And here's who it was. And it was Joe McRacist. And I fired that fucking guy. And here's evidence I did it. Boom. I'd forgive that shit in a second. I'd be like, yeah, sometimes we all make bad hires. What are you going to do?
There's nothing you can do about that. I get it. But this woman, she is fucking crazy sauce from the very beginning, man. She's a nutty lady. She's also, Tom, the one thing that makes me nuts about this lady is she's a fucking representative in government. She's in Congress right now. And she is genuinely one of the stupidest people I've ever heard speak. And she's not just stupid. She's like confidently stupid. She's one of those people that are like.
That's the worst, man.
Right?
When it's the worst.
We're going to cover a couple stories in a minute where she's so confident she's right about something. And she's 100% wrong about it.
Yeah, I know.
She is literally walking, breathing Dunning-Kruger. That's what she is. She thinks she's the smartest person in the room while simultaneously being the dumbest person in the room.
Absolutely. The other thing is like, she says like this is somebody else that was managing her. It's not inconsistent with your current beliefs.
Right. Exactly. Like, why would you say that? That's like somebody from the KKK being like, hey man, you like that N-word. Yeah, I do. I say it all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
I would, if you have a history of entirely contradictory behavior, and then all of a sudden there's like this weird post out of nowhere and this flurry of likes on a Tuesday. And then you said, man, somebody got a hold of my page. I would be more prone. I'd be like, yeah, all right. You know, if all of a sudden Cecil's page, just all these fucking like rebel flags show up next Tuesday. I would not call Cecil and say, holy shit, dude, are you now a fucking Confederate racist?
Exactly.
I would call Cecil and say, holy shit, dude, someone done hijacked your page, bro.
Exactly. And the same thing goes for, you know, when Ted Cruz liked incest porn, everybody knew it was Ted Cruz.
Nobody thought it was Ted Cruz.
There was nobody out there who didn't think. There was nobody out there when he threw the staffer story out there. There was nobody out there who thought there was a staffer. Everybody knew he threw a staffer under the bus. Everyone knew it.
So here's another story. This one's from Huffington Post. Marjorie Taylor Greene theorized space laser beam.
You got to read this.
California wildfire.
You got to read part of this, Tom. If not part of it, all of it.
Another unearthed post from Representative, not fired, Marjorie. Remember, we fired a lot of other people.
Yeah.
Not Marjorie Taylor Greene. Post from Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene's Facebook page shows that her taste for conspiracy theories knows no bounds. In a post that the watchdog group Media Mattered uncovered Thursday, the Georgia representative posited that solar energy collected in space and beamed back to Earth is what sparked California's worst wildfire. So, like,
did it make a pew sound? Did it?
No, I didn't notice the enormous magnifying glass that the space ants were holding over Earth at
That'd
that
be
moment.
So amazing. Oh my God. You're genuinely the stupidest person on Earth. You are the dumbest human being.
Fuck, man. I'm gonna read something from the actual post, okay? So it says, as there are now over 70 people confirmed dead and over 1,000 missing, the fires in California are a horrific tragedy. I'm praying for all involved. This is a long fucking post. I'm not gonna read the whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm posting this in speculation because there are too many coincidences to ignore. And I read that and I thought, you shouldn't post speculative shit like this based on coinky dinks.
Right.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Right.
Okay. And just putting it out there, we need to stop just putting shit out there also.
God,
like if you're just putting stuff out there is the same as just saying when you insult somebody, right? Like you're a fat piece of shit. Just saying. It is what it is. Just put it out there. Just saying.
Look, you're allowed to insult somebody if you put a winky face after it. That's how it works.
Just put it out there from some research I've done stemming from my curiosity over PG&E stocks. Procter & Gamble, right?
What?
Which tanked all week, then rallied Thursday night after California officials announced they would not let PG&E fail. I find it very interesting that Roger Kimmel on the board of directors of PG&E.
Okay. What?
Here, I got to keep going because this is amazing. Is also vice chairman of Rothschild International Investment Banking Firm. Guys, we started with wildfires. I want to say we
started for this. Georgia.
Wildfires.
Georgia. What the fuck, Georgia? You voted for this, man.
This reads like David Icke.
Don't get me wrong. There was nobody running against her. She was unopposed, but still, somebody voted for her.
Why was she unopposed?
Somebody
You
voted
couldn't
for
find anybody. You looked at this woman, you're like, well, gosh, nobody else around this district got the chops to beat that.
You could put a donkey in a sombrero and she beat this lady. Are you kidding me? The fuck out of here.
And I also find it interesting the long history of financial contributions that PG&E has made to Jerry Brown over the years.
I hate
and
this
millions
so
spent
much.
lobbying. What a coincidence it must be that Governor Brown signed a bill in September of 2008 protecting So this is, again, we started with wildfires, guys. I'm going to skim because, holy shit, this reads like David Icke.
She's skipping a stone. She's genuinely skipping a stone over all these other weird, disparate points to try to make one point.
Yeah. And what are the odds that Feinstein's husband, Richard Bloom, is the contractor to the rail project? Geez, with that much money, we could build 3 U.S. southern border walls. Then oddly, there are all these people who have said they saw what looked like lasers or blue beams of light causing the fires and pictures and videos.
When she said laser, Tom, did she do the scare quotes like Dr. Evil? Did she say laser? Did she do that?
They were the space lasers were attached to space sharks, guys. They were attached to.
They came from the sky in space tornadoes.
They were genetically engineered at Procter & Gamble by the fucking Rothschilds to shoot friggin' laser beams.
Laser beams. It's so stupid. You're such a stupid lady. You're a stupid lady. You're a genuinely stupid person.
I just want to say right now, there are people unemployed. And this woman is in Congress.
Tom,
this woman shouldn't work anywhere.
Tell me. No, and that's a great question. Tell me what you think this woman could possibly be qualified for.
That's funny because the only thing that I thought of when you asked that question was she could be one of those people that gets hired to sit in the passenger seat so you can go through the carpool lane. But only if she would agree to shut the fuck up the whole time.
When I look at her neck, I think she might be able to own a CrossFit box. I think that might be a good...
Drop the gun! I know you're too stupid to get this, but you're really fucking this up right now. You fucking moron! You're a fucking moron!
You fucking idiot!
You're a serious fucking idiot! Dumb as a bag of sand! Idiot, Morty! You're a rickhead! The dumbest thing I've ever laid eyes on! Idiot! What an idiot! What a dumb Morty!
Sister A comes from Vice. Marjorie Taylor Greene.
How does it get stupider?
Oh, okay, I'm going to read this headline. This is a real word I'm going to read. Marjorie Taylor Greene believes in Frazzledrip.
Is that when you? I know what this is. This is when you go to the doctor because your dick is a little leaky after fucking a Fraggle, right? Is that what I got the Frazzledrip. Is he got a shot for the Frazzledrip?
It's when you think you're finished shaking off, but you're like stressed and in a hurry, and you put it back, and you're like, oh man, I was all frazzled. I got Frazzledrip.
I got Frazzledrip.
I know a fucking Frazzledrip.
I got Frazzledrip.
God, I got to untuck my shirt now. It's a whole thing. Marjorie Taylor Greene believes in Frazzledrip, QAnon's wildest conspiracy theory. So, Frazzledrip, Cecil. Let me read to you
Down
what
on Frazzledrip.
Frazzledrip is.
Down on Frazzledrip.
This is the theory. A video that was found on the laptop of Anthony Weiner, the former Democratic congressman.
This is so good.
Who was caught, he was sent to jail in 2017 for sexting with a minor. So there's a video on his laptop that began circulating on the dark web. The video was found in a folder on the laptop's hard drive called Life Insurance and was named Frazzledrip. This is also, none of this happened.
Let me just say, if you're naming porn files, don't name it a weird name. Okay? Call it something so boring.
Budget reconciliation documents.
Accounting documents. Call it something boring. Don't call it something weird. Don't call it something cute. Call it something cute kooky. Don't do that.
Yeah. Wow, this thing I don't want anyone to be curious about, I'll leave it a mysterious name. What is with your fascination with my secret closet of forbidden mystery?
In fact, name every single thing that is a porn file, a number, and 2 girls, 1 cup. That way nobody ever opens it. No one would ever open it.
Right?
And you could just have 2 girls, 1 cup 2, 2 girls, 1 cup 3, 2 girls, 1 cup 4.
Name all your regular files, shit like that. Just like all your regular files on your computer should be like lemon party, 2 girls, 1 cup. Just
someone comes and opens up your computer, they're like, hold on a second. You have a Word document called 2 girls, 1 cup? What could possibly be in a Word document?
You, it's a fan fiction. Whatever.
It's ASCII art. Get the fuck out of here. Anyway, back to Frazzledrip. Back to this fucking highbrow fucking news show that talks about Frazzledrip. Go ahead. No, the floor is yours, Tom.
This is for real. The bogus report says the video, which to be clear, does not exist on the dark web or anywhere else.
Doesn't exist, right?
No, it's all bullshit. It's
made
shows
up.
Hillary Clinton and Huma Abedin, Wiener's former wife, I may have mispronounced that, and longtime Clinton aide, raping and mutilating a young girl. Specifically, the video is supposed to show Clinton filleting the young girl's face and then taking turns with Abedin to wear the girl's face as a mask in order to purposely terrify the child. This is the part that made me laugh out loud. You don't have to wear it as if you fillet my face, I'm already scared. I've reached the maximum level of fear. I don't care. You could take my face and turn it into a fucking kite and fly it outside my window. I'm not more afraid. I just think you're fucking weird too.
Every time they talk about when I read this, I think of Dwight Schrute cutting the face off of the doll, the CPR dummy that he cuts the face off of and he's wearing it around the office. Like, it's fucking hilarious. Like, that's what I think. You know who this lady is? This Marjorie Taylor Greene is fucking Representative Liz Crokin. Because Liz Crokin believes this too. Mm-hmm. Also has a thick neck.
It does have a weird neck. In order to purposely terrify the child so that her blood would be flooded with adrenochrome.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Again, there would be plenty of adrenochrome.
Yeah, no, you're good. It's plenty to go around. Yeah, it's literally shooting out her face at that point.
You have her face used to be,
I guess,
and taken her face.
Yeah.
And then the thing is, like, if it's honorable, you have to make sure to save face. So you don't want to get rid of it.
They fold up the face and put it in their wallet. Sorry, I saved that. Save that face.
And, you know, the irony is in the background of this video, Face Off was playing. Yeah. Just like in the background, just as a little homage, a little...
Also, weirdly, Nick Cage was in the room. It's so stupid. It's such a stupid thing.
Yeah. So the conspiracy theory also includes the rumor that multiple officers from the New York Police Department who saw the video have been killed by Clinton, who then covered up the murders by making those look like suicides. Okay, that's Frazzledrip.
Right.
That's Frazzledrip.
One question, though. Did she cut their faces off and make it look like they cut their own faces off as a suicide? Because that's really good if she did that, yeah.
She fucking believes this shit.
Oh, yeah.
Marjorie Taylor Greene endorsed a conspiracy theory. She says, here's the thing. There's somebody in this post. She gets that says this is the mother of a new NYPD officer who watched a horrific video seized on Anthony Weiner's laptop of Huma and Hillary filleting a child's face. This was another Hillary hit. Then Marjorie says, yes, familia. I post things sometimes to see who knows things. Most of the time people don't. I'm glad to see your comment. I've decided it's time to start doing a lot more videos and engage further in the fight. Most people don't honestly know so much. The mainstream media... The mainstream media disinformation warfare has won for too long. This is your craziest friend or uncle or aunt or this is
no. It's even worse than that, Tom. It's the crazy person your crazy aunt thinks is crazy. That's what she is. She's not just a crazy person you know. Oh no,
I literally don't know anybody like this.
No. I don't know anybody like this either. I'm not sure. I'm 6 degrees of separation to somebody this fucking crazy, to be perfectly frank with you. I mean, she is that fucking nuts. And she's in Congress, man.
In Congress right now. Yep. She's in Congress. You know what? I'm just curious.
And I know you said it before. I know you said it before. There's got to be some kind of test, man. There's got to be some kind of test. There's got to be something. Because I guarantee you sit this woman down and you give her a basic fucking high school fucking civics test and she'd fail it.
Yep. I am becoming more and more convinced that there must be a test for information literacy. That simply has got to be, do you remember in high school having to take a civics test? You had to pass a basic civics test.
Yeah.
There needs to be an information literacy test, and it needs to be mandated, and everybody needs to pass it. And we should have that as a condition of employment. If you're hiring somebody for anything, I don't care what, because we need to create incentives, carrots for people to learn how to become information literate, because we are losing this battle. We are losing the battle against disinformation. Every single day, this is getting worse. It's accelerating out of fucking control. And I don't know what we got to do to stop it, but I know that there needs to be real measures in place that create incentives for people to become literate. And it can't be just the next generation, because the generation that's currently online right now, they don't have these skills. We know they don't have these skills because they've demonstrated. The 2016 to 2020 is proof in the pudding that the current people walking around in the world do not have the skills to manage the information that they're getting. We've got to create a social system of incentives so that people become information literate, or we are fucked. We are absolutely fucked, man.
And I want to say too, there's a lot of people who talk about representation, right? When we talk about seeing a black actor in a movie, and we say that representation is important. We hear that all the time. It is. It's very important, right? You see a black superhero, a woman superhero. Those types of things are very important. Understand this. There's also a negative to representation. And the fact is that all those dumb people who follow Q, all those dumb people who think that the world is run by, conspiracy theory, they have representation, right? They see that somebody who thinks the same things they do can make it really far in the world. They can be a congressperson.
Yep.
We shouldn't let this happen. That's the bad side of representation, right? When somebody's so dumb. That's why Trump was such a horror, because he showed all the dumb people in the world that there are no limits for you. There should be limits for you, man.
Yeah, your star should not rise. Your star should chunk up against a concrete ceiling and flounder and flap like a fucking deflating balloon until it putters back down to the ground.
There should never be someone as stupid as Trump in office again. It should never happen. Yeah. He's proved time and time again how inept he was, how lazy he was, how he literally, he would get furious when people would fucking talk about stuff he didn't want to hear. He was a fucking idiot. He was genuinely a stupid person, and he fucked this nation up. Look at where we're fucking digging out fucking COVID bodies. We could stack them up so fucking high. There's more than a World War II loss of COVID deaths in this country right now. Yep. Don't tell me that none of that shit matters. It absolutely matters. It mattered at the worst possible time. We had the stupidest person in the world at the worst possible time in charge. And this is the exact same thing. The stupidest person in the world right now is standing on the fucking floor of the House that has just as many rights as all the rest of those House members.
Yep. Yeah, this motherfucker is taking $174,000 of your taxpayer dollars, by the way, every year. That's her salary. The salary for an incoming freshman congressperson is $174,000 a year. Same. Just because she's stupid doesn't mean she gets paid less.
Yeah.
She's getting paid. Think about all the fucking unemployed people right now. This person's making $174,000 a year, and she is this fucking absolutely abjectly stupid. We can't let this continue. We seriously have to do tangible, active things.
Yo, facts. This ad hits different, fam. It's Valentina Day. Let's go. Look, here's the deal, gamers. You want to do some cums and no cap? Adam and Eve is life. So get that dub and go to adamandeve.com. Use code GLORY. Stay on that drip, player. Straight up girl boss, alpha, omega, lol, chad mode. Anyone that uses code GLORY is legit BDE. Wop, 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 wop. That shit slaps. It's the 50% off almost any one item for me. It's the 6 free movies for me. It's the free mystery pack for me. Oh, and that free shipping is a mood, period. Believe that you gotta get that sex core style if you slide into dummy thick DMs. Don't get caught in a thirst trap with no liquid. Yo, vibe check? Please go to adamandeve.com and use code GLORY. Select almost any one item and you'll get 50% off. And Adam and Eve loads on the free stuff. 6 free movies, a free mystery pack, and free shipping. That's a lot of free Valentine's Day stuff. So head on over to adamandeve.com and use code GLORY, GLORY, at checkout. Get hella clout, coomers.
You stupid donkey.
Well, honey, why are you being so mean to me?
Because you're too thick to even fall under my spell. And you got no class.
So this is another Marjorie Taylor Greene story. This is not just misinformed, it's also racist.
Yeah.
Marjorie Taylor Greene tried to force Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib to retake their oaths on a Bible in a resurfaced video. So this fucking numbnuts was wandering about basically saying like, well, they swore on a Quran and you can't swear on a Quran, you have to swear on a Bible. And we're going to make them swear on a Bible because otherwise they're not really genuinely sworn in.
Their oaths don't matter.
Right.
Again, what I said earlier, confidently stupid. Very, very confidently walking around as if she knows what she's talking about. Yep. Literally. And the thing is like, I don't know how stupid she is. Does she just think that she says something and that it's the law now? How fucking dumb do you have to be to walk around and think that?
Yeah, there's never been a law that requires them to take the oath of office with a book.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a book.
Yeah.
The Constitution states no religious test shall ever be required as qualification of any office or public trust under the United States. That's what it says. That's a quote from the Constitution.
All she wanted to do was shame them for being different. That's all she wanted to do. She wanted to publicly shame them for being different. That's all she wanted to do.
The implication is also that they do not have America's best interest at heart because they're Muslim.
Right.
That's the implication is that we need to basically force these people to violate their religious beliefs because if they don't, these are basically deep state Muslim actors.
Yeah. Right.
That's the reason she's afraid of it. Otherwise, what do you fucking care?
What do you care? Why would you care?
Why does this bother you?
Yeah.
It's not because, hold on a minute, there's some procedural element that you forgot about.
Yeah.
And as a fucking yokel ass citizen, because this is before she was elected, she's just a fucking yokel. This is like congressional racist citizens arrest, Cecil.
It is. Exactly. It's just one bullet. She's Gomer Pyle. Santa Sands race. That's what she's doing. She's running around like Gomer Pyle. It's ridiculous.
How is this person in Congress?
Okay, Tom.
Yep.
What book do you swear on?
If I have to swear on a book?
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you know offhand? What book would you swear on? I feel really on the moment right now.
Demon Haunted World.
Demon Haunted World would be a good one.
I would do Demon Haunted World, I think. Demon Haunted World, because that would fucking make people so mad. And it would definitely tick off every single fucking evangelical in the country. They'd be furious that I swore on they would call it a demon book. It would be the best.
Oh, they would be so confused.
It'd be the best. It would be the best.
I might steal your answer because it's so good.
Not only is it a skeptic book, but it's also a fucking book that people would misconstrue the title for. It's amazing.
That's really good.
Yeah. It scared the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about, don't you have like a favorite like novel or something? Couldn't you do it on a novel?
Like Grendel is my favorite novel. It'd be weird to swear on it though, because like
it's weird to swear on any book, Tom. Come on.
I know. That's why I was like my first thought was like, well, I would just be fucking cute about it and like swear on the dictionary. I'd be like, I have all the words. I have all the best words.
All right, audience, what book do you swear on? Let us know and tweet it at us or post it on Facebook and let us know.
As I travel around this land of Oz, one thought comes back to me again and again. These people are nuts!
This story's from Huffington Post. Just a matter of time. Just a fucking matter of time. Man arrested after allegedly injecting people with fake COVID-19 vaccine. And I guess when I say just a matter of time, this guy tried it pretty much right away.
Yeah,
so this is a story about some motherfucker who back in March saw the dollars in front of a pandemic, saw the fear, turned it into dollars, pretended that he created his own home vaccine from like Joe's Discount Garage Vaccine Warehouse or whatever the fuck.
What do you have to buy at the Brew and Grow store to make your own home vaccine? He You walk up, yeah, sorry, man. Hey, could you just point me to the vaccine aisle? Like, what do you do? What do you do? You go to the place and they pull back a sheet, and there's in the back room, there's the microscope section and the petri dishes and the fucking Erlenmeyer flasks or whatever the fuck.
I know that like we have this delusional belief that all the best ideas were started by like two best friends in a garage who figured out the fucking secret to cold fusion or whatever.
Yeah.
First of all, that's a bullshit origin story that if you believe, you're an idiot. Second of all, it's almost never true. That's all just marketing.
Yeah.
That's not how science and fucking vaccines work. People who have vaccines, they don't have to post about it in fucking Facebook ads. He sold it. There's a picture from if you go to the show notes, the HuffPo article has a picture of himself with this weird shit-eating grin standing by the fucking hood like you would see at fucking 9th grade science class, holding up a vial and smiling like, I made a whole thing of apple juice. Like, he sold this shit on Facebook.
Yeah, man.
I wouldn't. The other day, Cecil, I'm going to tell you a Facebook story. The other day, I was on Facebook and a friend of the show had posted this picture of these beautiful boots. And I saw these boots and I was like, damn, I want to buy those boots. And I commented on it. And he's like, no, do not buy these boots. This is a bullshit Facebook ad. Go to an entirely different company where you can find them where it's not bullshit. Dude, the stakes were boots. They were shoes, man. I wasn't injecting the shoes into my body. I was going to wear them on my feet.
Oh, and let's be real clear here. People injected this into their body.
Yeah, people sought this out.
This isn't just, somebody lost a little money and he never came through with the vaccine, which is just as bad, by the way, because you're giving people false hope. But he's injecting people with this weird shit that he made in his fucking brew and grow store.
I know.
The fuck?
And he charged between $400 and $1,000. People traveled all over the place to get this stuff. And it's not like just random Joe, whatever the schmuck, traveled to get it. The mayor of like San Jose City or something traveled to this guy. And that's dangerous, right? Because when leaders start supporting this kind of bullshit, there's often a trickle-down effect. Yeah. And also, all these people who go out and get this bullshit vaccine, now they think they're vaccinated. And they're clearly not careful scientific thinkers. So do you think they're going out and behaving like rationally given the pandemic? They're going out and getting COVID. And we know that because some of them ended up hospitalized with fucking COVID later.
Yep.
Jesus.
It's unbelievable. And this is exactly what we're talking about. This is like literacy to understand that there's people out there that are going to try to hurt you. There are people out there who are going to try to trick you. They're going to try to fucking, and this guy fucking 100% a charlatan.
Yeah.
But these type of things are available on Facebook. Like Facebook didn't see this and somehow stop this.
Thank you. Like this does continue to beg what has become the eternal question, which is, what is the responsibility of these platforms to the material that exists on these platforms? You've got a guy who, and this is not, he didn't do this on the secure end-to-end back-end messaging portion. This is out in the open, right?
Yeah.
This is out in the open. He's selling it, and he's selling this shit saying like, look, the government is not going to protect you. Like this post is on the site. His thing says the government is gonna protect you. There's nothing you can do. This thing is going to take a long time. I synthesized this protein in my fucking discount garage lab warehouse or whatever. He said he made it, by the way, in half a day. He didn't even work a full 8 hours on it, guys. I have binged watched Breaking Bad longer than this guy took to fucking make a vaccine for COVID-19 in March.
Oh my God, dude.
In March. Are you kidding me? Half a day? half a fucking day? Like, what the fuck are you even talking about? Half a day? I banged it out and then took a nap, jerked off twice. What? What?
One time I made duck confit and it took 72 hours.
Also, I have to point out, he has additional Facebook pictures on here from people that took his fucking vaccine.
Oh, yeah,
and they first of all, he injects it into each arm.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know. I've had a lot of vaccines.
Symmetry, Tom.
Right? Yeah. We got to get in the right ad. It's first of all, it's 2 shots administered immediately concurrent with the other shots, but just with bilateral symmetry. Because that's how the when
it meets in the middle, it's like boom.
And then there's like a weird amount of bruising.
Yeah, oh no, because he's incompetent, Tom. That's why. That's why.
Why would you post that picture? I've had, again, a lot of vaccines. It's jab you in the arm. You can't see it. Maybe your arm is sore or there's like a little bump. You don't have bruising in your veins because they don't typically inject vaccines into your veins. You're not mainline. It's not fucking heroin. What the fuck?
They come into the COVID vaccine, they're burning it in a fucking spoon over a candle.
Holy shit, he's chasing the dragon with that fucking COVID-19 vaccine.
Hey, I already got the first booster on my arm. Can you shoot some between my toes?
After the first one, man, it's never the same after that. That first hit, man, that first hit of the vaccine.
You got this guy who's on his 4th dose of COVID vaccine shooting it into his eyeball.
He's like walking out on his fucking wife and kids to fucking spend his life fucking hustling on the street for COVID vaccine.
Earlier in the day, he did ass to ass with another guy just to get a dose.
Jesus!
What is happening, man?
Why is this on your site, Facebook? Well, you know, you built algorithms to keep me fucking looking at your shoe ads and whatever.
Yeah, well, they built algorithms that if there's a boobie, you can't. Like, there's people who can report that shit. You know, I was just thinking to myself, I'll bet you that there's no way I could go onto eBay and within a certain amount of time, if I were to list, say, radioactive material, I guarantee I would get a knock on my door. Right? There's no way that eBay would allow something like that.
Yeah, the same thing. Like, I couldn't become an Amazon seller, I'm sure, and be like, I'm selling vials of COVID vaccine.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not because some human person, it's because they would just build an AI infrastructure that looks for bullshit.
Yeah.
Why don't you have an AI infrastructure that looks for horrifying disinformation bullshit?
What brings you to see the doctor?
That is private.
Chronic obesity and pear-shaped figure.
I am not pear-shaped.
Mm-hmm. Take a seat, Mr. Bartlett.
That's Sherman.
So hospital incursions by COVID deniers putting lives at risk, say health leaders. So there's fucking people who think the COVID thing is a hoax and the vaccine is an attempt to, you know, control the population. And they're storming the hospitals at this point. Like they're going to the hospitals and they are actively interfering in the care of patients. They're getting in the fucking way of staff, of medical professionals trying to give care to patients. Holy what the fuck. I'm going to read from here. There's a video in it, but I'm going to read from it. In the latest example of a growing trend, a group of people were ejected by security from a COVID-19 ward last week as one of them filmed staff claiming the virus was a hoax and demanding that a seriously ill patient be sent home. Quote, "He will die if he's taken from here," a consultant tells the man on footage.
Yeah.
Because the motherfucker's like on a ventilator.
Yeah, he's sitting up. He wants to leave. They want to take him. But everybody's in the hole. Everybody who knows anything in the entire situation is saying he will die if he leaves here. And then they're arguing and saying, well, he has oxygen at home. They're saying that he doesn't have this much oxygen. It's not the same oxygen. You can't just take him home and pretend that it's the same level of oxygen that he's going to get at home. It's not the same level of care. But people think that they just come in and say, well, it's not a real thing. The one guy argues with the doctor and says, oh, do you mean COVID-19 that was proven not to exist?
Yeah, well, then they say in this, the guy behind the camera says at one point, like, the guy just needs to go home and have some vitamin C.
Yep.
He needs to have some vitamin C and some fucking multivitamins.
Yep.
And the guy's like, those aren't treatments for COVID.
Yeah.
What the fuck? What? No. Yeah. This is, I mean, like, the disinformation is such a fucking problem, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, none of this had to happen. None of this had to happen. This is all the natural and inevitable result of a massive disinformation campaign by people who wanted to remain personally in charge. I can't believe this is happening right now.
That's exactly it. It's because we had such wishy-washy bullshit messaging from the start. There were real doctors on the stage from the very beginning who were saying, this is a horrible thing. It's going to fuck people up. And you should really pay attention to it. And the whole time, because everybody was afraid that the stock market was going to crash, was hedging their bets and talking all weak. They were just using weak language, or they weren't doing things, or they were saying certain things weren't as important as other things. They were making decisions, medical decisions, when they had no right to make those decisions. They were saying medical things when they had no background or any kind of knowledge on how to talk about it or even how to contend with it. And that happened from the top down in this country, all over this country. It wasn't just the president. It was the president and all the people who work for him and all the people who worked in government all over this country, and state governments and local governments and city governments. All over this country, there was so many people who wanted businesses to stay open, and so they fucking made up something.
And the right-wing media sycophants who not only helped to spread, but to amplify that story, the Tucker Carlsons and all the rest of the Hannitys and all the rest of those fucking monsters, all the rest of those absolute fucking degenerate asshole monsters. Like, we are really at a place of real existential crisis if we do not get back to both identifying who experts are and ensuring that we listen to experts. When you're talking about something like COVID, your local GP is not a fucking viral epidemiologist. Like, your politician is not an expert, right? The expertise narrows as the world gets more complicated. That's a really important thing to know. Expertise gets narrower and narrower as we learn more and as the world becomes a more complex place to live. There's no such thing as people that are experts in 12 different fields. Like, not really expert at it.
Yeah.
That's why, like, you continue to, refine and refine and refine your area of expertise as your education goes deeper and further. There's a reason that that's necessary, because all that education is what's required to take somebody from, an educational level that has this broad base of expertise and to refine it deeper and deeper. The only people qualified should have been the CDC. It should have been like the World Health Organization. It should have been viral epidemiologists. Those are the leaders in this field. Anyone who's not in that field is not a lead. They don't know what the fuck they should be listening to them. Expertise matters.
Imagine if we did the same thing if there was a tsunami coming in, where we said, well, we just want to keep the businesses open.
Yeah,
Look,
right.
We understand it's going to be bad for business. They're probably going to get flooded out. So I want to sell some stuff before it actually gets here. You know, the same thing, they say, we don't do it with anything else except for the human body, right? We don't do this with anything else. We don't do it with TV repair. We don't do it with fucking car repair. We don't ever argue with the fucking guy who comes out and says it's the fucking steering pump. We don't argue with that guy. He comes out and says it's the fucking brake fluid or it's the fucking hoggledy-gook. And you say, sure, whatever. And he says, it'll be $175,000. And then you pay him and you leave. That's how it works, right? When the guy comes in to fix my air conditioner, I don't say, well, are you sure? You sure you don't want to splash a little vitamin C on it? I don't say that. I just fucking whatever you say, bro. Sure, you think it's the fucking pipes that come up from here and go into there and it's a pump that does this? I'm sure you know better than I do. I never fucking argue with that guy. And the problem is that none of the other people in the world do that either. But they seem to think that there is some way that they can argue with somebody who is fucking has medical knowledge. That somehow is a way. Like, no, you don't know. Come on, you're just a doctor.
Yeah, well, we have been fooled by our access to information into believing that we are all able to become experts quickly on anything. Well, I can Google it.
Yeah.
I can Google it. I can look it up. You fucking cannot even approach the vocabulary. You cannot approach the vocabulary required to become an expert in almost any significant field. You can't Google your way into being a fucking geologist. Yeah. You can't do it. Right? Yeah. You can, and the thing is, like, geologists will tell you, like, the idea of geologists isn't meaningful because there's so many subsets of geology, and there's real differences between the knowledge bases from this kind of geologist to that other fucking kind of geologist. Because again, expertise narrows and narrows and narrows at the top until it becomes this really laser-focused thing. We have got to get over this bullshit idea that the democratization of information has created expertise in the populace. It has done the opposite. It has absolutely done the opposite. Your ability to fucking Google baseball scores and read a handful of Wikipedia pages about historical figures and turn them into a podcast does not make you an expert. It's literally the joke of the opening of our other show.
Yeah.
But
doesn't
we are
make you an expert.
Killing ourselves.
Yeah.
We're dying because of this.
Yeah.
4,000 people a day. Your tsunami thing, man, by the end of February, this will be a death toll in the United States equal to 2 of the tsunamis that happened. Remember the big ass tsunami?
2011 or whatever, 2010, I forget exactly when it was.
I forgot the year.
Yeah.
I think it was the Christmas tsunami.
The Christmas tsunami.
This will be equivalent by the end of February to that twice.
Right.
Twice.
And that was it was 2004. 2004 in the Indian Ocean. And there was 227,000, almost 228,000 people died.
And all of that is because of the bad information. That's why this is happening. It's the virus, yes, but the information is what makes the virus spread.
Yeah.
That's what's making at this point.
We know
that is what's making it. This virus has gone viral.
Yeah. We know for sure 100% that we knew early on that masks helped. We knew that early on. Trump said it in a call. Trump said it was airborne in a call. We knew early on.
Even if we didn't put the masks on till March, even if in March all the messaging had shifted, there was a public recognition that we were wrong before, but here's what needs to happen now, and that message was strong and it was unified. In March, if everybody had put on a fucking mask and worn the fucking mask, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
We just wouldn't be here.
If we'd have been cautious throughout the whole time, we would have definitely not been here.
Where are you going, Brain?
Back to the cage to plan for tomorrow night.
Why? What are we going to do tomorrow night?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world without Larry.
So this one's just a fucking giggle. This is from Rolling Stone. QAnon believers are pushing new Trump conspiracy theories on TikTok. This is amazing. They have not given up this fight.
On the day of the election or the day of the inauguration, I posted something on I think it was on Twitter, and someone had came back to me and told me the March 4th date. They had said, no, they're now pushing it up. Because I said to QAnon people, I was like, basically, hey man, I know it's up, the gig is up, but maybe it's time to come to reason, essentially is what I said.
Yeah.
And they said, no, all the QAnon people have fucking moved the goalposts.
They think, here's the theory, guys. This is the craziest shit. So Biden is president, by the way. That happened. That ship has sailed.
It's here.
He's getting his
hashtag your president. Yeah.
right now. So, TikTok users are propagating the idea that an obscure 1871 act made the United States a corporation and not a federal government, thus rendering any laws passed after that year moot. Every law passed after 1871 is moot, according to them. And U.S. citizens are not subject to them.
I will say, Tom, that really is making America great again. I mean,
holy shit!
If you're back to then, oh my God, man!
Yeah,
think of how far we've come in that time.
But yeah, there's a lot of people that are going to be a little shocked when they find out they're not citizens or can't vote. They can't. How are you? Okay, anyway, according to this theory, women can't. Black people. Okay, according to this theory, the United States will revert back to its original form. Revert back to its original form?
We're not a Pikachu. What the fuck?
Thank you.
Get the fuck out of here.
Thank you. Wait, is Voltron going to disassemble back into the individual lions? Are you fucking kidding me?
This isn't Dragon Ball Z. Get the shit out of here.
Well, all of a sudden, we're just not going to have, like parts of America weren't even states in 1871. Big parts, huge parts of America weren't yet America. Okay. They believe the United States will revert back to its original form on March 4th, the date when presidents were inaugurated prior to the 1933 passage of the 20th Amendment, because that doesn't count. Neither does the 19th Amendment, which kind of a big... Anyway, they believe Trump will be sworn in as the 19th president of the United States, which means that the last president this theory recognizes was Ulysses S. Grant. What I love is that also means that they do not recognize the last Trump presidency.
Right. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
What?
He's going to be...
If he's going to be the 19th president, then he wasn't already the president. They're just pulling out like that. They're just being like, that didn't count since 1871.
This is fucking Harold Camping, moving the goalposts again.
Yeah.
Oh, did I say May 21st? I meant October 3rd. Like, what the fuck, man? You said the world was going to end. That's on you.
Here's a great post. Listen, patriots, y'all can relax. We're going back to a republic come March. Trump will be back in the presidency, but he will be the 19th president because we're not going to be a corporation no more. We're going back to the republic, says some asshole on TikTok. Your boy will be inaugurated March 4th. Period. Point blank. End of story. This is said, by the way, by somebody with 78,000 followers with a video that has 15,400 views. One of the videos talking about this jibber jabber has 442,000 views. Yeah.
Well, that just means there's going to be 442,000 people really disappointed on March 4th. They're going to be all sad. They're going to be shaking their TikTok phones, screaming at him, "You lied to me! You lied to me!" The fuck out of here. These people have got to be trolling, right? These are trolls, right? Because you can't literally think this. These are...
Cecil, I am unable to understand what people literally think anymore. We have a congresswoman who thinks that space lasers started the California wildfire because the Rothschilds are alien brain. I mean, like, I'm done. I'm done saying like, it's so bizarre, it must be fake. Like, we're at a place where I'm like, nah, man, it's so bizarre, it must be the right.
Yeah. At a certain point, I'm gonna agree with you and just say, yeah, you know what? Maybe they do mean it.
Yeah.
Maybe they do mean it.
Yeah. I used to think that we couldn't descend further into farce. And what we've done is we've descended into a level of chaos that's just scary. It's just existentially terrifying.
What's interesting is that we almost certainly practical joked ourselves into stupidity. Because some of this stuff early on was a practical joke. Q and all that stuff, that was done by trolls. There's no way that someone thought that was true. The first posts that came out about this were all practical joke posts meant to troll people, meant to trick people. That's what it was made for. Yep. And so we practical joked ourselves into being dumber.
We practical joked ourselves into an insurrection.
Yeah, we did.
Can you imagine? There is a guy out there who was playing the Q role, who invented Q and threw it out there, and they think they even know who it is. And like, he's just fucking around writing this fucking jit. And I have to genuinely wonder what that guy thinks and feels right now.
Yeah.
Like, does he feel bad? Is he like happy at the chaos? Is he weirded out? Is Q still posting? Do you know, is Q still posting things?
I don't know. I wonder if he feels like the guy who stepped on the butterfly in the time machine and now nothing happened after that. That's all, we're all like lizard people or something, you know? So we want to thank our patrons. Of course, we want to thank all our patrons. We want to thank our newest patrons, Jordan, Adam, Jonathan, Saiharadi. It's a lot of consonants. I'm sorry. I don't know how to say it. Send us a pronunciation guide and I'll help. Ryan, Garbage Pig. I can pronounce that one. Shannon, Kevin, Glenn, Stefan, and Lisa. And also the people who up their pledges, Jonathan and Morden. Thank you so much for your generous donations. We really do truly appreciate it. Guys, Glory Hole Studios doesn't exist without your donations. We have bills that we have to pay to make sure this show runs and it gets to you, and that we have live streams and all the special stuff that we do for people who listen and for people who watch. So the show doesn't happen without that. And so we want to thank everybody who pitches in every week to make sure this show is possible. We want to thank you so much. We got a message, Tom. This is from is it Loughton or Lafton? I don't know. Loughton.
Yes.
I'm gonna say Loughton.
It is one of those.
Like that. So we got a message. This is erotica fiction. My Antifa lover. Ugh. I read the weirdest Trump era erotica, so you don't have to. How terrible is that?
It's so great. And one of these is Trump's Twitter ban, written by none other than Chuck Tingle.
It's not just that. It's pounded in the butt by my handsome Trump's Twitter ban, by the way. It's not just Trump's Twitter ban.
Oh, I misread it because I just saw that. Yeah, all right.
Yeah. No, it's pounded in the butt by. So by Chuck Tingle. You can check out our Chuck Tingle episode on Citation Needed. You can also check out our Burke and Wills episode that just came out.
Or Burke and Willis. It's up to you.
It depends.
It's a choose your own adventure, but the adventure still ends and everybody dies.
Yeah. And it's and here's the thing. I don't need to know about your history. You're from underneath the planet. Like, I don't need to know about that.
You guys died trying to figure out how to go north in your own house. Like, whatever.
That's your fault. That sounds a lot like your fault.
These are not your heroes we were mocking, I guess.
Yeah, it's not like, we don't need to get their names right. They couldn't even find water. Yeah. They ate a snake full of dysentery, for crying out loud. The fuck out of here. I don't need to remember their names.
I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about Lewis and Blark. Whatever.
Yeah. It was Lewis and Clark, wasn't it?
And Silent Bob. It was Lewis and Clark and Silent Bob.
And Silent Bob. There you go. Yeah. Lewis and Clerks. Okay. We got a message, and Craig said, yes, you were right. I didn't hear you on Skeptics with a K, but on Incredulous, the game show thingamabob they do. They don't do it all the time, though, Craig. No. I mean, I mean, let's not get crazy. They do it like once every 2 years. But yes, you're right.
They have actually, they've ramped up their production schedule.
Since the pandemic. Yeah, the pandemic has pushed them.
Yeah, they did one in June, and then they did one in December. So they've really. No, I'm fucking around. They did 2 in December and 1 in June.
And 1 in June. Yeah. Wow.
So they did.
It's a breakneck speed. Those come out.
They had 4 episodes in 2020.
I can't even download them fast enough.
They're about an hour long. They basically produced upwards of 5 hours of entertainment last year.
Wow. Congratulations, guys.
That's really something.
We got a message from Matt, and Matt says, a year ago, Fauci and Trump said the worst case scenario would be 400,000 deaths. Do you think there is even a mechanism or for your previous government to be held legally liable or prosecuted for their mismanagement of the pandemic response? And I want to say they sure as shit put fucking Hillary on a fucking Senate hearing when Benghazi happened.
Yep.
And there was, a couple of people died. What happens here?
Yeah. Nothing.
Yeah.
We have, I will say, to answer your question, there's no mechanism. We have mechanisms, but our government is broken.
Yeah.
So nothing will happen.
Got a message from Rena, and Rena says, after last episode, you mentioned Q and QAnon people that are involved, people involved with QAnon, and there's a subreddit called R QAnon Casualties. It's all one word, and it's dedicated to those whose relatives, friends, or significant other fell into Q with helpful resources that can help manage those that are dealing with mental issues or otherwise in danger because of close Q believers. So we'll put a link to it on this week's show notes. It's a Reddit called R QAnon Casualties. All right, so that is going to wrap it up for this week. Next week, come join us on the stream. We had a great time on the stream this week. You guys could come check it out. You're going to be missing it if you're missing it. It's a lot of fun. We're having a good time. We're hanging out. And we're doing about, it's under an hour each time, but sometimes it's significantly close to an hour. Like tonight, it was close to an hour. So you're getting a full extra hour of content if you show up and come hang out with us, which is great. So if you're interested, we'd love to have you. The streams are 9 p.m. Central Time on YouTube, Twitch, whatever, however you want to find it. There's Facebook as well, and I think it's on Twitter now. So you can come check it out and hang out with us. And we talk to chat sometimes. Chat sometimes is a little difficult to talk about, but we do catch some very funny moments from chat. And so we'd love to have you come join us. So please do. It's the streams, we advertise them every week, but we really love to see you there. So that is going to wrap it up for this week. We are going to leave you, like we always do, with the Skeptic's Creed.
Credulity is not a virtue. It's fortune cookie cutter, mommy issue, hypno-Babylon bullshit. couched in scientician, double bubble, toil and trouble, pseudo quasi-alternative, acupunctuating, pressurized, stereogram, pyramidal, free energy healing, watered downward spiral, brain deadpan sales pitch, late night info docutainment. Leo, Pisces, cancer cures, detox, reflex, foot massage, death in towers, tarot cards, psychic healing, crystal balls, Bigfoot, Yeti, aliens, churches, mosques and synagogues, temples, dragons, giant worms, Atlantis, dolphins, truthers, birthers, witches, wizards, vaccine nuts, shaman healers, evangelists, conspiracy, doublespeak, stigmata, nonsense. Expose your sides. Thrust your hands, bloody, evidential, conclusive. Doubt even this.
The opinions and information provided on this podcast are intended for entertainment purposes only. All opinions are solely that of Glory Hole Studios, LLC. Cognitive Dissonance makes no representations as to accuracy, completeness, currentness, suitability, or validity of any information, and will not be liable for any errors, damages, or butthurt arising from consumption. All information is provided on an as-is basis. No refunds. Produced in association with the local Dairy Council and viewers like you.